All right, Michael, thank you. Wow. Coming up, our second game, of course, Jacksonville and Denver. We'll have a preview from Mile High. We'll look again at this first game, live again with Packers coach Mike Holmgren and more. Join Boomer Esiason and me after this message and a word from our ABC station. What a start to Wild Card Saturday. Will it be even wilder at Mile High Stadium? Coming up, the Jaguars and Broncos. That's at the top of the hour. Well, the Minnesota Vikings with a huge 20-point second half beat the Giants 23-22. I guess you never mark it down, do you?
No, you never mark it down. And the one thing is also, Chris, is that you can never underestimate the will of a veteran quarterback. Randall Cunningham had a horrible first half, but came back to make big play after big play, especially in the fourth quarter. And then, unfortunately for the Giants, they couldn't recover the onside kick, and something that we'll talk to Coach Holmgren about a little bit later.
Well, for sure. Well, here's what we're talking about. And we looked like early on, Randall Cunningham did not even enjoy being in the elements. He had trouble just making a handoff. He had trouble just getting the exchange. There were 3 turnovers in the first half of the Vikings. The Giants converted the ball to field goals, and then a short drive about 50 yards. Cannell to Aaron Pierce. It was 19-3 Giants at the half. It started to turn, though, when Tiki Barber fumbled after the hit by number 94, Tony Williams. The Vikings converted this into a score, run up the middle by Leroy Horde, but still 19-10 Fruit Gum Company after 3. But Brad Maynard made the great hold, allowing Brad DeLuiso his 5th field goal. The Giants seemed to be in control, 22-13, but Randall Cunningham to Jake Reed made it 22-20, which set the stage. Buck and a half to go, onside kick. Chris Callaway just couldn't come up with it. Chris Walsh made the recovery. The drive down the field to inside the 10. Eddie, eat, drink, and be Murray. And everyone in Minnesota is exactly that. When the field goal came with seconds to go, 23-22, the Vikings beat the Giants, which now means the Vikings know that they are going out west. The Vikings will play next Saturday in San Francisco, the late game. The winner of tomorrow's game at the Big Sombrero between the Lions and Bucks will go to Green Bay next Sunday for the early game, which is a perfect segue to the coach of the defending world champion Green Bay Packers, Mike Holmgren, who joins us again. Mike, well, I guess you can put away your notes and your Giants tapes for another season. You're looking to go to work for the Giants, but you know Denny Green a long time. Can you put into words what this win, getting off the schneid in the playoffs, especially a comeback like this would mean to him?
Well, I think it has to be a great feeling for him. I know what a fine coach he is. I know how hard he works. I know how his players feel about him. And it's always nice to get that first one. Shoot, it was nice to get my first one in Minnesota this year after all those years of not winning up there.
So what do you look at tomorrow, Detroit, Tampa Bay? Any keys? I mean, you know these teams so well. You play the winner of that. What's the key there in that game in your eyes, Mike?
Well, I think Tampa will have an advantage because they're playing in Tampa. And when we played there a couple weeks ago, they said it was the biggest game in South Florida in 25 years. And I think this is even going to be bigger. And so that's an advantage. Yet Detroit has so many offensive weapons. And so it'll be, and Barry Sanders, of course. So it's going to be a great football game.
Very quickly on your team, winning 1 game, winning 2 games, hopefully for you, winning 3 games. What are 2 or 3 keys? Obviously, Gilbert Brown's health, but what are you looking for your team to repeat as champs?
Well, we have to maintain the momentum we've gotten in the last 4 games, I think, down the stretch, Chris. Getting Gilbert back will help our run defense, maintaining our continuity on both sides of the football. And then I'd like really our return game to pick it up a notch. We had a great return effort by Desmond Howard last year in the playoffs. We haven't had that type of return game yet. I'm hoping we kick it into gear now down the stretch.
Well, it is your time of year. Best of luck on trying to defend a crown. It's very difficult. Good luck to you and Happy New Year to everybody up there.
Same to you, Chris. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Mike. Mike Holmgren of the Green Bay Packers watching tomorrow's game with added interest. We will be going out west for a preview for the Broncos and Jags in a moment.
This is Imagine TV.
What's this?
Ivan the Destroyer.
No, I said go get the villager, not pillager.
There's no one to fight here. Maybe he just wanted to drive his Mercury Villager.
I can't believe you said he could come with us.
You tell him no.
Till next time, imagine yourself in a Mercury.
They look the same,
on the outside. But inside, it's a whole different story. Because Duracell batteries outlast Energizer. And test after test proves it. Better make it the alkaline batteries proven to last longer in the devices you use most.
Better make it Duracell.
ABC's NFL Wild Card Saturday, brought to you by Miller Lite, now official beer sponsor of the NFL.
Well, our second game today finds Jacksonville returning to the scene of last year's playoff crime when they won in a Denver stunner 30-27. These are two good teams, Broncos 12-4, Jaguars 11-5. Let's go out now to Al Michaels, Frank Gifford, Dan Deerdorf at Mile High. Guys?
Thank you very much, Chris. The weather here is going to be just fine for football. 44 degrees, as you see, partly cloudy. The wind is gusting to about 30 miles per hour, and that could be a factor because it's supposed to go up much higher a little later on today. But the two quarterbacks we're going to watch today are remarkably similar in many ways. Let's take a look at them. John Elway, 37 years old in his 15th season, and Mark Brunell on the way up, 27 years old. He's played in 3 playoff games. Elway has been in 14, and he has won no Super Bowls. 3 of those were Super Bowls. You know, last year, Al, it was Mark Brunell who came in here and dominated this game.
He really came of age in those 3 games. The week before, he had performed very well in Jacksonville's win over Buffalo. Then the brilliant performance here, and even played well in the AFC Championship game despite the loss to the New England Patriots. He has a great arm, and he can scramble. And earlier this season, in a preseason game, Jesse Armstead of the Giants made contact with Brunell, 2 torn ligaments in his knee. He was gone for 44 days, but by midseason, he was back. That run against Kansas City led to a victory against the Chiefs, and the Jaguar people feel at this point Mark Brunell is playing his best football of the season, and it couldn't come at a more opportune time. Good numbers for the 1997 regular season. The touchdown-interception ratio outstanding with 18 touchdowns, 7 picks, and 91.2 was the top rating in the AFC and 4th in the NFL. So last year, Dan, Mark really came of age, and John Elway, of course, came of age a long, long time ago.
And seems to be getting better with age, Al. John Elway, like his compatriots from that 83 draft, Marino and Kelly, still looking for that Super Bowl win. And at 37 years of age, John Elway just seems to get better and better. First on the Super Bowl stage almost 11 years ago, and still he has such a wide range of receivers. Shannon Sharp right there. The mobility of John Elway, maybe when he's at his most dangerous, here to Rod Smith. And he also has Willie Green, a guy who's come on lately. Last week, 4 touchdown passes in the win over San Diego. And John Elway, when you look at his numbers, they do get better. 26 touchdown passes each of the last 2 years, 27 this year, his finest touchdown production of all time. So coming up, it's Jacksonville and Denver. Right now, back to our studios in New York and Chris Berman.
All right, Dan, thank you. 12-4 against 11-5. Only the 5th time in the 19 years of wild card games the teams with records these good are facing off in this round. We'll be back with Boomer Esiason to kick around this late game. Jags and Broncos. Mark Brunell and Jacksonville. Can they pull a stunner again?
When you come into Home Depot, there are professionals in every department.
We have journeyman electricians,
master plumbers.
We've got roofers.
We hire the most experienced people in the market.
You've got people in every department in our store that have come through the trades or through the pro business.
Doing what they love, doing what they know.
I cannot let you leave here not knowing how to do it correctly.
We're expected to be the best.
It's not, I read a pamphlet on this and I think I know what I'm talking about. It's, I know this product and I'm going to show you how to use it.
The Toyota Camry has been called the best car built in America, and Consumers Digest has selected it as a best buy. So it's little wonder that the Camry has quickly become America's favorite car. And to celebrate, now you can get special leases and low APR financing on Toyota Camry, but only until January 5th.
Happy holidays from your friends at Miller. It's Miller time.
What are you doing? You can't spell Pluto.
when it comes to Scrabble. Watch me now.
You're getting on my
C,
nerves.
prolific, as in prolific score.
Nice word, Ice.
The Iceman spelling prolific.
Quite a coincidence.
Hey, give me
And
five.
he gets a double word score for that, coach.
Hey, that's like Penny spelling unstoppable, penetrating, or MVP.
Like you spelling shrimp.
You got me, Chuck. You should be on stage telling your funny jokes. Come from miles around to see the funny man, Chuck.
The nation's top teams, the greatest coaches, and the premier players. 3 big bowls, 1 big bash. New Year's Day on ABC. First, Joe Paterno and Penn State tackle Florida in the CompUSA Florida Citrus Bowl. Then, Charles Woodson and undefeated Michigan go for the national title. They battle Washington State in the Rose Bowl. And in prime time, Ohio State takes on Bobby Bowden and Florida State in the Nokia Sugar Bowl. It all begins with the Tournament of Roses Parade, New Year's Day.
New Year's Day on ABC.
Getting set for the Jaguars at the Broncos. You're Denver. You only have today at home. Then you go on the road. What's their recipe for success today?
Well, their recipe for success is quite easy. When you look at all their home games, 8-0 at home, they're dominant at home, and the reason being is because they score defensive touchdowns, they put pressure on you with their special teams, they're able to run Terrell Davis. And John Elway actually feeds off of Terrell Davis very well, good play-action passer, and of course, we all know the great exploits that he can do outside the pocket.
Quickly, what's Jacksonville have to do to repeat last year's
Poise.
upset?
It takes a poise, and I think when you look at Mark Brunell, he is poised, and he's beyond his years in playing, and he's the guy that can pull it off.
We're poised for another good game. If it can top the first one, boy, they don't go anywhere. Shannon Sharp and the Broncos host the Jaguars. We'll see you at halftime. Kickoff coming up.
ABC's NFL Wild Card Saturday, brought to you by Nike, who encourages you to participate in the lives of America's youth. Coming up, the Jacksonville Jaguars versus the Denver Broncos after this from our ABC stations.
All season you've heard that TV is good.
It was undeniably the most shocking upset of the 1996 season. Jacksonville at Denver. The quarterback in today's wild card game is John Elway. In last year's playoff game, he and the Broncos jumped on the Jaguars early. The 12-0 lead, no surprise. But then today's other wild card quarterback, Mark Brunell, began to strut his stuff.
Turns, lofts it downfield, looking for Keenan in the end zone. Keenan leaps, makes the catch. Down Jaguars. He's at the 40. Mark Brunell running to the far sideline, turns the corner, 35-30. Down to the 25. An inside move, leaping for the 21.
That run kept alive a key fourth quarter possession for Jacksonville. And then,
big play, 35 from the 16. Looking for Jimmy in the end zone. Touchdown Jaguars. That's it. The Jaguars are going to the championship game of the American Football Conference.
The images of that game remain vivid for both teams in today's wild card rematch. A cornerstone victory for the Jags, a searing defeat for the Broncos. John Elway and all of Denver have waited nearly a year for this game. Deal them up. It's the Jaguars and the Broncos in this AFC wild card playoff.
Let's go, Jaguars! Let's go! Here we go! We got the noise! Bring on the game! Well, it's playoff time and it's do or die. One team lives, the other says bye. The winner gets glory, fame, and shield. The loser can only wait till next year. You better be ready. You better get right. It's time to kick off this wild card fight. Hit it! Come on and hit it! Come on and get ready! Are you ready for some football? A postseason party! We got Frank and Al and Dan. They're gonna get it started. Get those helmets crashing. The crowd is psyched. It's the NFL playoffs coming on. That's right. Bring on the game. Now.
Denver, Colorado on a late December day. Weather just right for football. Temperature about 44 degrees. Wind gusting to about 30 miles per hour. It could get stronger a little later in the day. And Mile High Stadium, a great setting for any football game and a dramatic setting for this rematch between Jacksonville and Denver. Hello again, everyone. Frank Gibbert, Al Michaels, and Dan Deerdorf. It will be noisy here. You heard a while ago, as we talked about it throughout the course of the day, Jacksonville came in 9-7 a year ago. They stunned the Denver Broncos, who had their best franchise record of 13-3. They went on to lose in the AFC Championship. Denver was out of the playoffs. They waited for almost a year to get back at Jacksonville. They made some changes during the offseason. They're probably a better football team. They're 12-4 coming into this one. And this is a team, however, that struggled over the past few weeks. Meanwhile, Jacksonville, 11-5 out, and I think they are probably better on both sides of the football, offensively and defensively, than they were a year ago.
I agree with you, Frank, and this is a team that has won 16 of its last 21 regular season games. And when they beat Denver last year, Coach Tom Coughlin found the dead right recipe, and that was balance offensively. And look for the same thing to happen today. Natron Means on the ground. He gained 140 yards that day, but he's been bothered with the sprained ankle this season. He's healthy again. They'll need him to pound through the middle. Offensively also, Mark Brunell, the quarterback, they're going to ask him to be more aggressive. He's got a great arm, but they didn't want him to run earlier this season because of the knee injury that cost him 6 weeks. But they will ask him to be more aggressive today. The big difference, though, may be defensively. They just have to step it up a bit because the Jaguars were 23rd on that side of the ball in the NFL. So that's the recipe for a Jacksonville win today against the Denver Broncos. And you've got the 3 R's: respect, redemption, and revenge, all in play today.
There aren't many words that haven't been used, Al, because what happened here 51 weeks ago, local folks call it the darkest day in the storied history of this Broncos franchise. It wounded not just the football team, but this entire community. That's how stunned they were that Jacksonville came in and upset the 14-point favorite Broncos. But you know something? You better be careful for what you wish for, because you just might get it. And that's what's happened to the Broncos, because Jacksonville is a much better football team, and a much better football team that comes in here with confidence, knowing that they can win here. It has been the Denver players for the last year that have been doing all of the talking. And I think that what comes with that talk is pressure. I think a great deal of pressure is on the Denver Broncos today, and they have talked the talk, and what we're going to find out today is whether or not they're capable of walking the walk. Now, the most watched man in the stadium today is going to be running back Terrell Davis. He separated his right shoulder in their loss to the 49ers 12 days ago. He did not play in their season-ending game. He's going to wear a harness today, and how effective he is will go a long way towards how effective and what chances the Broncos have of beating the Jaguars here this afternoon. So we've got the AFC wildcard game, the 12-4 Broncos, the 11-5 Jaguars, attitude and altitude. We've got it all here for you today.
We're doing a little paint.
At Penzo, we'll be waiting.
Up against the wind, it should be both a highly emotional and physical football game. Welcome to the sideline. I'm Lynn Swan, head coach Mike Shanahan of the Broncos. No words have been wasted talking about the emotional factor of this ball game, the motivation and revenge. How do you take that challenge, use it in a game plan so they can just get that energy onto the field?
Well, then they got the job done last year. We didn't. They made some plays, and we had an opportunity. We didn't take advantage of that opportunity. The same opportunities here today, and you work a whole year through the offseason, the mini camps, and now we'll see if we'll take advantage of it.
And they're ready for this.
They're ready for it.
All right, Coach. Thank you. Al?
Thank you, Len. That's a beautiful shot as you look at Mile High Stadium and downtown Denver in the background. Temperature in the 40s, a gusting wind. Basically, as you'll look at the field with Vaughn Hebron going back to receive the kick, and a guy who missed a lot of action during practice this week because of a hamstring pull, Mike Hollis to kick off. Basically, as we look at the field, the wind will be blowing from left to right, from north to south, but like in most enclosed stadiums, it is a swirling wind. And Hollis's kick fielded by Hebron at the 5-yard line. Up past the 20, and Terrell Davis is back up at running back, brings it back to the 27-yard line. And here comes John Elway, wrapping up his 15th season. And this season, those 27 touchdowns, the most in any season in his career. Quarterback rating 87.5. Davis in the backfield. Griffith is the blocking back. Smith and McCaffrey outside. Shannon Sharp, the tight end. And up front, Zimmerman. Schlereth comes back from disc surgery. Nalen, Habib, and Jones. Nalen is the backup center for the AFC in the Pro Bowl. And Davis gets immediate action, takes it up to the 30-yard line. That separated shoulder is his right shoulder. Here's the Jacksonville defense, and 2 rookies along the front. Lagerman, Wynn, and Payne are both rookies at tackles, and the veteran Simmons. Hardy, Schwartz, and Robinson, the linebackers. Schwartz, the team's leading tackler. Thomas and Figures at the corners. Davis and Hudson are the safeties. And the wind gusting and blowing the ball away from the line of scrimmage.
Pretty good indication of how severely the wind is blowing when it rolls a football that's on the ground. There were times we were down there before warm-ups. Actually, we were moved by the gust.
Play fake. Davis makes the catch, gets hit on that right shoulder, is a little short of the first down at the 36 by Hardy and Schwartz. So they go to Davis on the ground and then through the air immediately.
I think the key will come not being hit on the shoulder, but when he lands on this field, on his elbow, driving that arm up into the shoulder. That's when you an impact on a separated shoulder. And there's the wind we spoke about at the top of the show. There were alerts up in the mountains and the foothills of winds gusting to 70 miles an hour. So it could get worse.
3rd down and 1. You can see the papers blowing. Davis with the first down. So Terrell Davis out last week with a separated shoulder behind a Griffith block, 2 carries and a pass reception and a first down.
Terrell Davis actually wanted to play last week against San Diego, and I think they very wisely, any kind of a separation, it takes a while to put it back together again. I had one, Dan, I'm sure you probably have. It's one of the most painful things that you can play with, live with, and God help you if you sneeze.
And it'll also affect Terrell Davis's ability to receive. He's a good receiver out of the backfield. We'll see if he can get his arms up. Well,
Elway's second pass, Rod Smith, the intended receiver, and the ball floating and wobbling, Figures covering, 2nd down. Lynn Swan, update from the field. Lynn?
Well, Al, you're talking about the brace that Terrell Davis is wearing. It's not so much a brace as it is just padding. And here's an example of it. There's padding on the inside to protect him from the force of any hit he will get. Really can't keep the shoulder in place, but just will protect it from any hit. Al?
All right, thank you, Lynn. So on 2nd down and 10, Davis in the backfield along with Griffith. Esra Tuaolo is now at defensive tackle in place of Seth Payne, and that's Tuaolo who comes across the line. Bernie Kukar is today's referee. Payne, a rookie from Cornell, he'd been questionable.
Number 84 on the offense, moving prior to the ball being snapped. 5-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
Janet Sharp drew him off.
In the middle of that Jaguar line defensively has changed dramatically from a year ago. John Jurkovic is gone for the season. He broke a tibia. And Pritchett, as we look at the jump by Sharp, you see him from the reverse ankle. Watch number 84. He makes the movement and draws Jacksonville across the line of scrimmage. But they also lost Don Davey in the middle of that defensive line. So a big change defensively for Jacksonville this year.
2nd and 15. You can hear the wind out of the shotgun. Elway guns it over the middle, and it's dropped by McCaffrey.
Ooh, looking right back into the sun, the late afternoon sun. You can tell by the shadows, McCaffrey was looking right back into the sun, and he couldn't handle it.
He's got the sun, he's got the wind, and Elway throws the ball about 170 miles an hour.
See McCaffrey's shadow, he's looking right back into it, and like a lot of great quarterbacks, they are pumped up in the first quarter, and often that first quarter delivery is a little hot.
A hot Elway pass, a good field underneath you, a little earth, wind, and fire here for you this afternoon from Denver.
Yes. Right off the bat on 3rd down and 15. They have to get to the Jacksonville 46 to convert, and Elway guns it to the open man. McCaffrey makes the catch, first down, takes it to the 36.
A lot of time for John Elway. That was a deep turn in, and the Bronco receivers have been dropping a lot of footballs over the last few weeks, and when McCaffrey caught that football, he looked it right into his hands, into his chest. He knew he had the first down, and again, credit the offensive line. They gave Elway all the time he needed, but watch McCaffrey look it in, hug the football. He knows he's going to get hit, and he comes down with the ball for a first down.
And I think John Elway in this wind is aided by the fact that he does not throw anything that resembles a floating football. He throws a laser pass, and he'll have more success in this kind of a wind than some other quarterbacks might.
Davis gets taken down by Schwartz after a gain of 1 to the 35. That pass to McCaffrey was good for 25. 3 minutes into the game with no score. Davis with 20 or more carries in every game this season until the Monday nighter in San Francisco when he went out in the first half.
Still ended up with 1,750 yards, 15 touchdowns, nearly a 5-yard per carry average at 4.7. Sitting out that game, he really didn't have a realistic shot at Barry Sanders for the NFL rushing title, but yet what a remarkable year for Terrell Davis.
2nd and 9. This is the 8th play of the drive, and Davis escapes, breaks another tackle, and gets ridden down at the 26, close to a first down by Travis Davis, breaking 2 tackles out of Chris Hudson's drafts in one of them.
Well, we've seen him a lot this year, and I'll say it over again. He runs like a much bigger man than a 210-pound back.
Well, he's also got legs that got a week off. It was almost like a bye week for Terrell Davis, even though these two teams didn't get a bye. Just breaking tackles, the driving legs. He's not a guy that's going to take it like Barry Sanders and change directions 4 times and go 80 yards. But you will be hurting by the end of the day if you've had to tackle Terrell Davis 30 times.
3rd down and a short 1. And they give it to Davis, and he gets that 1 as he takes it to the 25-yard line. Thomas comes up to make the top tackle, and Denver is now 3 of 3 on 3rd down.
And he is a power runner, Dan and Al, but you saw the nifty footwork there at the line of scrimmage. He knew he needed the 1 yard, so he kind of skipped to the left, lowered his shoulder, and picked up the first down, and he's going to get a breather on the sidelines.
Broncos are aided by an addition up front. Mark Schlereth is starting at left guard. He's missed the last 5 games because of back surgery, and his addition to this offensive line means an awful lot to Denver.
From the 25-yard line, they give it to Derek Lavelle, who's the number 3 running back. He picks up 3. Occasionally, you're going to see camera shots today, and the camera will be all over the place and wobbling. The stands shake here when it's not windy, and now you've got the wind and the stands as you look down into Mile High Stadium. Gusting out of the north-northwest.
And with the exception of the wind, the temperature coupled with the sunshine, it is very comfortable down on the football field. A little cool in the shade, but the players don't mind this at all.
Very safe where you are to throw it now for the Broncos. They're in the protected end of the stadium. Here comes the blitz.
Elway scrambling and then throwing, and along the sideline at the 13, no. Rod Smith, one official checked with the other, and the call appeared to be the correct one as he did not come down in bounds. Dion Figures with the coverage.
You like to see that. The one official goes, you can see that his eyes, as soon as the play is over, lock right onto his partner. The 2 of them work that sideline as a team. And you're exactly right. Neither one of Rod Smith's feet were in bounds. But that is the way an officiating crew is supposed to work. They are a team working that sideline. They both agreed they were both right.
3rd down 7 from the 22. So again, Denver with a 3rd down, and they've converted 3 of 3 thus far. Blitz again. Elway throws, caught at the 12. They convert again, and it's Willie Green making his first catch of the game. Dave Thomas with the coverage.
Free agent, one of those free agents we talked about that Denver picked up at the very beginning of the show. He was one of them. Willie Davis has been with Detroit and Carolina last year, and he's had some success in playoff games previously with Detroit and Carolina, this time putting a good move on Dave Thomas. Dave Thomas, good defensive back, but you can beat him with the quick cuts. He's a big defensive back, and he doesn't pull it together as quickly as some of the smaller ones.
Terrell Davis back in the game, 1st and 10 from the 12 with McCaffrey in motion. And back to Davis, inside the 10, Davis to the 5. Davis appears to be 100%. Tom Nalen, who'll go to the Pro Bowl as the backup center, led the way.
Boy, if he isn't, he is banging people with that shoulder, and he doesn't seem to be having a problem at all protecting it.
And his offensive line is banging Jacksonville's defensive line. Look at the block there by Nalen, 66, Habib, 75. They are just removing the front 7 for Jacksonville. The guys in the secondary are having to come up and make the hit on Davis. If that becomes a pattern, that's big trouble.
2nd down and 3. Davis again. Davis fighting his way to the 2-yard line. That's close to a first down. Dave Thomas and Travis Davis in on the hit. 7 minutes into the game, and Jacksonville hasn't seen the ball yet, and they're going to measure.
Frank, don't you love that decision-making process by Davis? Rather than bounce it to the outside, lower the shoulder and head for the goal line.
Well, if you have his kind of power, that's what you do down close to either a first down or a goal line. But this is a terrific drive, and it would not have been this kind of drive, I'm sure, without Terrell Davis.
A first down.
He was the question mark earlier, whether or not he could go.
Well, I'm sure Tom Coughlin all week long said, hey, I'm sure Terrell Davis is going to be fine. I wonder if his guys believed it. Right there's the decision. Instead of bouncing to the outside, go for the surge. He picks up another 2 and the first down. But if there was any question, and the guys in the white shirts, whether or not Terrell Davis is all right, I think that's been put to rest.
15th play of the drive. They give it to Davis, so he starts it and finishes it.
Wow, that was classic. What a great drive.
And the mile-high salute to finish it off. Half the quarter.
The skeptics in the crowd, though, Al, are nudging the guy next to him and saying, you know, we had a 12-0 lead last year in this game.
And they were leading Pittsburgh, and they were leading Kansas City, and they were leading San Francisco.
But
Games
this
they lost.
is a wonderful finish to an absolutely perfect start to a football game for the Denver Broncos.
Jason Elam for the point after the Broncos go 73 yards in 15 plays.
That's one of those deals where you work off the script. I'd hit the reset button.
That's right.
I'd go right back and start over.
They will. 15 plays, 7-0.
Brought to you by Saturn, a different kind of company, a different kind of car. Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of the Super Bowl. Visa, the official card of the NFL. It's everywhere you want to be. And Brewery Fresh Budweiser, who reminds you fresh beer tastes better.
The Denver Broncos driving from the 26-yard line all the way down the field. A 15-play drive. Last week they had a touchdown drive that consumed 18 plays against San Diego. And finally Jacksonville to get the ball. Reggie Barlow and Mike Logan are back, and Mark Brunell has been waiting patiently as Jason Elam gets set to kick off. Reggie Barlow is the key man, developing into one of the best run-back specialists in the league. And we'll see him immediately from the 8-yard line, comes back this way and brings it back out to the 30-yard line. So Brunell and the Jaguars have it. 7:29 left in the quarter. 7-0 Broncos.
It isn't everything.
Mark Brunell, 5th year in the league out of the University of Washington. Began the season hurt, came back for game 3 and a 91.2 rating, tops in the AFC. Means and Halleck in the backfield. Smith and McCardell, great wideouts. Pete Mitchell, the tight end. And up front, huge Tony Pacelli, Ben Coleman, Dave Wydell, Rich Tilsky, and Leon Searcy, the ex-Steeler. Biggest offensive line, or heaviest, in the history of the National Football League.
Well, they need it in the division they play in, that Central Division. They see a lot of blitzing against the Steelers, Baltimore, Cincinnati, and Tennessee. But they are enormous.
And they're not just big for the sake of being big. They're athletic as well. Of course, with Searcy and Baselli, probably the best tackle combo in the NFL. And they're young.
From the 30-yard line. And right off the bat, you've got Damon Jones in as they start in a double tight end set, the rookie tight end moving.
Well, the sound is going, noise here is going to be a tremendous factor.
Ball start. Number 88 on the offense. Moving part of the ball being snapped, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
So each one of these football teams opens up with their tight end false starting at the beginning of their day. Shannon Sharp did it for the Broncos, and here's Jones.
I think this was the noise, though. They'll go with a silent count, but you saw Damon Jones looking down to see if the ball was going to be snapped. And he came off and got the flag.
Well, they're going to be flinching all day on the Denver side of the ball, trying to draw them. There they go again.
First down and 15, and Brunell under pressure, forced to throw it away. Ma'atanuvasa put the pressure on, the defensive tackle, who had 8.5 sacks this year. The Broncos a 4-3, and up front, Neil Smith came over from Kansas City, Keith Traylor, Ma'atanuvasa, and Alfred Williams. John Mobley, very mobile, Alan Aldridge in the middle, and Bill Romanowski. And the secondary outstanding, Crockett and Gordon at the corners, Braxton and Atwater the safeties. Good and very experienced. Jacksonville with a
there's a double move right at the bottom of the screen,
and whistles to stop the play with a 3 tight end set.
I think Rich Griffith
or Damon Jones, they're
number 85.
No play. Ball start. Number 85 on the offense. Moving prior to ball being snapped. 5-yard penalty, still second down.
Griffith is lined up at the wing. We asked Tom Coughlin yesterday, how are you going to handle the snap count, your audibles and everything? He said, well, we didn't really have a problem with it here last year. We're going to keep in our entire audible package. We'll do the silent snap count. It wasn't much of a problem for us a year ago. Well, not the case so far, Frank.
They've got a problem.
Yeah.
And Neil Smith comes out, and he was walking very slowly. Harold Hasselback comes in at left end. Second down and 20 now from the 20-yard line. The fake to Means, and Brunell buying time, guns it deep downfield, intended for Jimmy Smith, and incomplete. Brunell with 2 great targets. Smith this season caught 82 balls. McCardell caught 85.
Well, it's a very effective use of motion to get Brunell out. He's not in any way hurried, but look at that ball.
That was a wind catching that ball.
Whoa. Did you see that ball tail away to the right? I don't think Mark put any English on that in an attempt to do so.
Third down and 20 out of the shotgun. Brunell looks for James Stewart, the third down back. And Stewart all the way up to the 37-yard line. He got 17, but they needed 20, and they'll be forced to kick.
Stewart, the third down back that we'll see most of the day, but a good series defensively for Denver, and the biggest part of their defense is their offense. If their offense could put together a drive like they did before or something similar to it, that's the best thing you can do for your defense.
Well, aided greatly by a couple of false starts on the part of a pair of Jacksonville tight ends. Can't afford mistakes on the road in a ball game.
Brian Barker will go to the Pro Bowl, and it's a wobbly duck.
Not off that kick, he won't.
No way.
They'll have to return the pineapple.
They'll mark that up near the 40-yard line. At the 40, back comes Elway with a 7-0 lead. 24-yard boot. Aerial photography today being provided by Goodyear. A spectacular shot. Mile High Stadium in Denver. More than 70,000 looking on. A reminder coming up on Monday. Quiz Show. The movie, an ABC movie special. Network premiere of Quiz Show at 8 o'clock Eastern Pacific, 7 Central, right here on ABC.
It's a good movie. I liked it. Right now, it's Terrell Davis starring in the Denver Broncos story.
He did on the first drive with 8 carries as the Broncos marched down the field, consuming half the quarter.
It's remarkable when you think back 12 days ago, we watched him in terrible pain on the sideline, the ice down that shoulder, and knowing what a shoulder separation can do to you, I'm just amazed at what he's done here in the first quarter.
From the 40, back to Davis. Cuts it back inside, up to the 45-yard line. Seth Payne making the tackle, going back to that first series right off the bat. They gave Davis the ball. He wound up carrying it 8 times. And they also went to him as a pass receiver as well. But John Elway kept calling his number. He started the drive and he finished the drive. And the Mile High salute made it 7-7.
Keep in mind that in the first 14 games of the year when Davis was healthy, he carried the ball over 20 times a game in each one of those ball games. That's one heck of a workload for a running back.
2nd and 5, and here is carry number 10. So he's already halfway there, and he's close to a first down, just a little shy of the 50. Hudson making the tackle.
Well, Hudson hit him about the 46-yard line. Davis has carried him for another 3. He's a load. Good receiver out of the backfield, too. Up very close to a first down, so they'll bring the sticks out.
Yep. They had 42 receptions on the year, Frank, and that's a lot of touches. And you can see why there was a lot of uncertainty here in Denver as to how productive Davis was going to be today.
Boy, but what an impact. As you can see, a little short. A running game can have on your passing game, and you have to have the defense thinking run before they think pass rush. You're in good shape.
Dick Duran, the defensive coordinator of Jacksonville, and with the offensive weapons that the Broncos have, the #1 offense in the NFL, I don't think many people are volunteering for his job this week.
Third down, inches. The Broncos are 4 for 4 on third down and make it 5 for 5. Davis, 11 carries to the Jaguar 48-yard line. Tackled by Brian Schwartz.
Jacksonville coming with a run blitz, filling every gap on their blitz, and still Terrell Davis was able to get the first.
Word from Lynn Swann. Lynn.
Well, Al, I talked with Elway before the game about throwing into this wind. He said the problem will be throwing from left to right as you look at the field because the ball can trail off. But if you put some heat on it, it shouldn't be a problem. I said, do you talk to your running backs about that fact? He goes, yeah, I mentioned it to them, but they already know I throw a pretty hard pass. Al?
Yes, as McCaffrey found out in particular on that first series. 1st and 10 from the 48-yard line, and they keep calling number 30's number, this time a minimal gain, tackled by Clyde Simmons.
Which will end up being the best part of Denver's passing game is Terrell Davis. This running attack that they're working against Jacksonville right now is going to make play action, which we're going to see relatively soon, all the more effective. A dozen rushes already for Terrell Davis, and still over 4.5 minutes left in the first quarter. That's a game for a lot of running backs in this league.
Earlier this season in a game against the Chiefs, he had 13 carries in the first quarter. 2nd down and 9, 4.5 minutes to go, and here is number 13. So 5 in a row on this series, and fresh as a daisy to the 37, but a marker goes down. Joel Smingy makes the tackle, and this one will come back.
Bernie Kukar, our referee, threw the flag himself from behind the play.
Holding, number 66 on the offense. The 10-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
Tom Coughlin, the Pro Bowl center, and that'll negate another first down and a good pickup by Terrell Davis.
Up 66 is Tom Coughlin right there. He was out in front. He's locked up on Ronaldo Wynn. Wynn trips and falls, and Coughlin ends up going with him. A lot of that was the fact that Wynn went down and Coughlin went with him, and it certainly did look like he took him down.
So Derek Lavelle comes in as Davis goes out. 2nd down and 19. The corner blitz, and Elway escapes, buys time, hits Lavelle, and the ex-49er takes it to the 48. Derek is really their number 3 running back, but they want to save Hebron apparently with that tender hamstring for running back kicks, unless Lavelle is in there right now for the 2nd time in the game.
Lavelle made a few starts for the 49ers for this man, Mike Shanahan, when he was the offensive coordinator there. He likes Lavelle. Good receiver out of the backfield, good running back. Turns this one into a nifty pickup, but leaves John in the passing situation.
Vaughn Hebron along the sideline. He ran back the opening kickoff, but hasn't played in an offensive set to this point. 3rd down and 8. And coming across the line was Tony Brackens, the free one. Brackens in there as a pass rush specialist. Eddie Robinson falls on Elway.
Well, Brackens not only went off sides, he's lucky he didn't hurt himself. In an attempt to stop, he does a full split. I tell you right now, Frank, if that was me, they'd be taking me off on the back of a cart.
He really did do the splits.
He tried to recover. He tried to throw out the air brakes. Watch this. That's a nice little hook slide. No chance to get back. Seven sacks on the year for Brackens. A lot of it's based on upfield speed. Getting a good jump off the ball is a key part of that. That's what he's trying to get. Trying to anticipate the snap count.
4 wides. 3rd down and 3. Broncos thus far perfect. 5 for 5 on 3rd down. Elway guns it over the middle, and it is Rod Smith, free and clear. Touchdown Denver.
I don't know if that was a completed pass or John Elway impaled Rod Smith with that football.
He's had a lot of drops by Rod Smith. This time he stuck it in there. Jacksonville coming on a blitz, and it was a terrific read by Rod Smith and John Elway. They connect up, and he's gone.
Were my ears betraying me, or could you hear that football hit Rod Smith?
Rod Smith had a bunch of drops earlier in the year, a few weeks ago. particularly against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, did you see him look that ball into his hands? They've been doing that in practice, talking about it, not making a big deal out of it where you're going to get hung up on it, but they have been working on it. We've seen some good catches today.
Smith had 12 receptions for TDs during the regular season. Pretty much like last year. Denver with the early lead, 14-0.
Problem. Starting January 5th, 2020 comes to Monday nights, too.
Join Hugh Downs and me for 2020, Monday.
Budweiser NFL News. The Vikings beat the Giants 23-22 after trailing by 16 points at the half. And they become the first road team since the Cowboys at San Francisco in '72 to win a postseason game, overcoming that large deficit. Vikings play at San Francisco next Saturday, and the winner of tomorrow's Detroit-Tampa Bay game plays at Green Bay next Sunday. Here's the kick with the score 14-0. Denver. And it floats down into the arms of Reggie Barlow from the 15-yard line. Barlow, who's becoming one of the best run-back specialists in the league, shows you why as he takes it to midfield. Exactly what Jacksonville needed at this point to get back in the game. Tackled by McKyer, but Elway's been sharp. And with 2.5 to go in the quarter, 14-0. Rod Smith going all the way here.
Freedom in the Air, brought to you by Southwest Airlines. With fares so low, you have the freedom to fly. In last year's AFC divisional playoff game, the Jaguars traveled to the Mile High City, where the Broncos were undefeated. Who would prevail? Stay tuned.
My dream's in Nashville. But my heart...
Down passes to Keenan McCardell and Jimmy Smith as Jacksonville shocked Denver 30-27 to advance to the AFC Championship game.
Touchdown, Jaguars!
Denver leading 14-0 with 21 plays having been run by the Broncos. Only 3 plays plus 2 penalties for Jacksonville. And John Elway, with blood on his right hand, had that work done during the commercial break.
I'd say those statistics we saw would support a Denver lead.
Well, pretty much like last year when the Broncos led 12-0 on 2 touchdowns. They scored last year, had the extra point blocked, then scored again and went for 2 points and were successful. And by the half, Jacksonville had the lead. From the 49-yard line, on the ground, Natron Means, it's a pickup of 4.
And this is what they need to get back to. Natron Means, he had 140 yards rushing a year ago and controlled the clock and the game along with quarterback Mark Brunell, but he had a big game as they rolled for over 200 yards on the ground against Denver, but that was a year ago. But they need to go back to it.
2nd and 6 from the 45-yard line. Brunell stepping up, takes it to the 40-yard line. A lot of mobility. Mark Brunell stopped by Neil Smith. It'll be 3rd down and 1. Tanavasa also in on the tackle. And Brunell shaking.
Oh, he's getting up a little tentatively. He wears a brace on his right knee. He doesn't like it, but they tell him you're going to wear it until we tell you can't wear it.
Hey, Neil Smith comes back in from the right side, and watch how awkwardly Brunell kind of lands after he jumps through that tackle by Neil Smith.
He also got hit on the back after he was down.
3rd and 1. And Brunell throws it, but behind Willie Jackson.
Well, I'll tell you, they got a lot of confidence in Brunell on 3rd and 1 when you've got Natron Means in the backfield.
You're exactly right. In this win,
exactly.
Offensive coordinator Chris Palmer had to be tempted to hand it to his 250-pound running back.
Look at that ball.
Whoa.
And they're thinking about going, at least Brunell was. He was staying out on the field, and now they'll bring Barker out to punt.
Wow, down 14-0 and still without a first down. There are only 2 possessions, 3 and out, even with great field position here.
Well, Chris Palmer, I'm sure, was tempted to give it to Natron Means.
Brian Barker to punt.
Should have.
And Darian Gordon back to receive it.
Play clock had expired, but that will not make much of a difference for Jacksonville.
There is no penalty. there is no penalty. We will reset the game clock to 25 seconds.
Boy, down 14-0 as we reset the clock here. Not converting when you start a drive down 14-0 in your opponent's territory, not even getting a first down. That's a critical failure for Jacksonville. There has to be a part of Tom Coughlin that must be thinking about going for it here. Obviously they're punting, but boy, they can't let this game get out of hand.
Parker's kick, he angles it, and that will turn out to be a very good one. It will be marked at the 8-yard line. And that's where Denver will take over. And it's time now for the Home Depot coaches fact. Mike Shanahan with a 41-27 mark in regular season games. Highest regular season percentage by any NFL coach who's winless in postseason. Now, Dennis Green was actually second in that category until about an hour ago.
He's off the snide.
Yes.
Congratulate Dennis Green, but also Jim Fossil and the Giants on a great season for the Giants, winning that division, sweeping the division. They had a remarkable year.
Denny Green was what, 0-4?
He was. From the 8-yard line, Terrell Davis for a gain of 2. And Mark Brunell can only hope that it's easier to throw the ball going the other way. We mentioned before that the wind is coming out of the north, which is left to right as we look at this field. But it's a swirling wind, and clearly Brunell's had a lot more trouble finding the mark with his passes than has Elway going the other way.
Well, it seems that way too. And Al, when you go from left to right as we look at the field, you're going to what is the open end of the field.
Knowing that, all the more reason to bang in there with Means on a 3rd and short.
Absolutely.
Instead of throwing on 3rd and 1.
2nd and 8. They give it to Davis. And Terrell up to the 11-yard line, setting up another 3rd down where the Broncos have been perfect at this point. 6 for 6 on 3rd down. Payne makes the tackle.
Let's go back and take a look at a couple of the efforts of Mark Brunell. This time, look at that ball just spin and tail away to the right. And again, throwing it out to his left, the ball again.
These are not electronic tricks.
Nope. That is not an optical illusion. The ball is really moving that much.
End of the first quarter, a perfect one for the Broncos. It's Denver 14, Jacksonville nothing. This wild card playoff from Denver resumes after this from our ABC station. Aerial photography provided by Goodyear. A look at the Rocky Mountains.
Look how steady that
Denver. Yeah.
Look how steady that blimp is in the wind up there. That's
yes.
The most beautiful mountains in the world. Some of the great ski areas in the world for sure.
In reverse as well.
New Year's Day. Here's a reminder: 3 bowl games: the CompUSA Florida Citrus Bowl, Florida against Penn State; the Rose Bowl, Michigan and Washington State; and Nokia Sugar Bowl, Florida State and Ohio State.
And it all starts with the Rose Bowl parade.
Yes, it does. On New Year's morning, Thursday, Denver from the 12 on 3rd down. Elway going deep. Smith gets free, makes the catch, taken down in Jacksonville territory, beats Beasley.
I don't know what Beasley was thinking about. He was looking, staring into the backfield.
Well, John Elway right now is saying, well, it's supposed to be a problem throwing the ball going this direction.
I don't know whether Beasley thought he was going to have help deep or not. He gets caught looking into the backfield. Rod Smith just blows right by him.
First play of the 2nd quarter, John Elway didn't seem to have much of a problem going into the wind.
Not at all. Davis from the 48 picks up 1. Davis has now carried the ball 15 times for 51 yards, and the numbers for the first quarter will certainly reflect the one-sidedness of the period on the scoreboard as well.
They're either beautiful or ugly, depending upon your zip code.
Look at the time of possession. Speaking of zip codes, 230-1230.
Jacksonville still without a first down.
And Denver up by 14 and in Jacksonville territory. Second down and 9 from the 47-yard line. Elway gets it away, intended for Griffith, the blocking back. Incomplete, covered by Schwartz. This wild card game is being brought to you by the new Dodge. It's about change. Bud Light, if you want great taste that won't fill you up and never lets you down, make it a Bud Light. And the Home Depot, America's home improvement coach. Al Michaels, Frank Gifford, Dan Deerdorf, and Lynn Swan in Denver. The Broncos have been bucking to this point, 14-0 and on the move again.
In that area of the field where Mark Brunell had problems throwing the football, the open end of the field coming up, pass situation for Elway.
John threw into the wind that time off to the left that was behind his receiver.
Third down and 9. Guns it over the middle. Caught by Willie Green to the 25-yard line. Gets inside Beasley.
I think this wind prefers a right-hand spiral. Perfect shot to Willie Green. The pickup from Carolina during the offseason. We talked about the numerous changes that Denver made after losing to Jacksonville last year, and a good move by Willie Green. He's big, strong, he'll battle for the football. He goes about 6'4". And again, the key to it, Dan, protection.
Absolutely. So far in this football game, Denver's offensive line has been dominant.
And Elway going for 6 more, and this time the coverage is good. McCaffrey, the intended receiver, Travis Davis and Dave Thomas converging on him.
Dave Thomas, he's big. We talked about it a few moments ago. He's 6'3" and about 215 pounds, and he just got right in front of McCaffrey and just dared McCaffrey to run through him. Dave Thomas, who broke his leg a year ago in the 5th game. But watch this. He gets right in front of McCaffrey. Maybe used a little bit of a hand, but he kept McCaffrey from coming back to the football. Good coverage.
Second and 10, Jaguars across the line. Davis takes the handoff.
Well, I'll tell you what, Howard Griffith, the fullback for the Broncos, was also moving towards the line of scrimmage.
He's been doing that, Dan, with regularity, and they have not been calling it either.
You could get a motion call against Denver, I think, easily out of this as well.
But they don't.
Yes, they do.
We did get him.
They both.
Yeah.
So offsetting.
He's been coming dangerously close to that throughout the first quarter.
Number 37 on the defense, illegal motion. Number 29 on the offense, penalties offset, still second down.
Yeah, it looked like Howard Griffith almost in some way misjudged the snap count, because he makes a serious move. He's the man in motion, and now watch him start towards, there's the flinch by Jacksonville, and Griffith takes 2 steps forward all the way up into that guard center gap.
That movement by Griffith was what actually drew Jacksonville off. And he started going to the line of scrimmage, and they came.
Second down and 10. Elway, a little shovel pass, and Davis runs right into number 51, Kevin Hardy, the second guy picked in the draft, the linebacker a couple of years ago. Around Jacksonville, a lot of people saying, when's Hardy going to step up? He's been pretty quiet thus far this season. Don't tell Davis.
Well, he stepped up and stepped right into the hole where Terrell Davis was trying to go. This is just a good call, a little twist move from the outside, looping back to the inside. And if Hardy gets there a half a second before, we might have had a loose football.
Third and 13. This is Denver's 30th play of the game. The Jaguars have run 6. Elway guns it, and it's caught by Smith, and he picks up the first down, and Denver is 9 for 9 on third down.
And John Elway threw a brilliant strike. That ball perfectly spiraling, and that is the best way to take the wind off the football, keep it in a tight spiral. Deep downfield to Rod Smith. He really had something on it, and this will be a great look at it. Again, the fine protection. Look at that. That just smoked into Rod Smith.
Well, down 7-0. Jacksonville had a thumb in the dike. Down 14-0. They got their whole hand in the hole. They're on the verge of having the dike fall on top of them right now.
From the 12-yard line, Davis inside the 10. Davis down to the 5-yard line. Matt Boland, the owner of the Broncos, Broncos for so many years, has lived through so many postseason games, both wonderful and horrible. And this one's starting out in the former category, at least at the moment.
Yeah, there's such a genuine affection. Pat Bowlen and quarterback John Elway, they don't quite know what John's going to do after this season, but somehow or other they plan on him staying with this organization.
Second down and 3. Shanahan expects him to be back. Davis, touchdown Denver. 92 yards.
And most of it against the wind.
For 51 weeks, the Denver Broncos have pointed themselves towards this game, and I said at the top about how much pressure comes with that. And Lynn Swann asked Mike Shanahan, can they translate that energy into something positive on the field? Well, so far I think the answer to that question is a resounding yes.
And there is no question about the physical ability of this man, Terrell Davis, with an incredible first half.
Jason Elam converts. 92 yards, 11 plays. 10:46 left in the half. Denver 21, Jacksonville nothing.
Let's see. It says here.
Shot of the Rocky Mountains. And it's beautiful in Mile High Stadium for these fans right now. A perfect start for the Broncos, leading 21-0. Jason Elam's kick, fielded at the 3-yard line. This is Mike Logan. And he gets tripped up at the 20 by Darius Johnson. 10:37 remaining in the half. Jaguars trying to get on track. 21-zip.
A lot of industry experts told us.
Sang Daisy Fuentes and Dick Clark live from Times Square with the Spice Girls, Usher, Sean Colvin, and Casey and the Sunshine Band. Dick Clark's New Year's Rockin' Eve on ABC.
Monday Night Football is live on the web. Get in-depth coverage of today's NFL playoff games at abcmnf.com. Up to the moment, take a look at this. There are the stats. 12-0 in first downs, 235 to 26 in total yardage. And 21-0 on the scoreboard. First down from the 21-yard line. Means picks up 2. Tackled by Keith Traylor. Around the neck. 2nd and 8.
Well, that's a pretty good effort for Keith Traylor to lasso a guy with the power of Means with that high on his body with one arm and just yanking backwards like that. This former linebacker with the Chiefs, now a defensive tackle here in Denver, and brings a lot more quickness to the table for this Bronco defense.
2nd and 8 from the 23-yard line. Brunell throws, and it's low, but Jimmy Smith is there to come back and get it at the 28-yard line.
Good read between Brunell and Jimmy Smith. Blitz on the part of Denver. The Jaguars picked it up, and Jimmy Smith broke it off, and they get the completion.
And Gordon, the cornerback to that side, giving a huge cushion when he knows his team is blitzing. Wonderful job by Smith of making that catch. He kept it off the ground, but Darian Gordon way too far off the ball. You know it's going to be a short pattern.
3rd down and 3. Looking for their first down, and they get it at the 35-yard line. Great protection. Enabled Brunell to hit Pete Mitchell, the tight end, for a first.
And nobody happier than every member of Jacksonville's defense.
They broke a barrier, a first down barrier. They get one.
Let us get our wits about us. Let us get our breath and see if our offense can keep the football for a while. Nice safe pattern. Mitchell sits down in the soft part of the zone. They need a whole bunch of those in a row.
Brunell finds Keenan McCardell, and Keenan, who's had a very hot month of December, up to the 40-yard line, tackled there by Ray Crockett.
And yet that's his first catch thus far of the game, isn't it? The leading receiver with 85 receptions coming into this. Not a big receiver, but on the outside, neither one on the outside, Smith or McCardell, but they have great hands and terrific speed.
And that was a good open field one-on-one tackle by Ray Crockett. Certainly the best cover guy of the Denver secondary. He's had a really fine year for Denver.
On 2nd and 6. Good protection again. Smith makes the catch, busts tackles, picks up a first down, gets it to the Denver 45-yard line. Tackled by Mobley.
Oh, and he breaks the tackle of Bill Romanowski and gets the first down in doing so. Jimmy Smith and both these wide receivers run well after they catch the football. Both of them over 1,200 yards, over 1,000 yards on receiving. Look at that little burst to the inside for a first down.
So the Jaguars with a little bit of a spark now, trying to get back into the game, go back to the ground, give it to Means, and Natron works it to the 41-yard line where he's tackled by Mobley. Means this season missing a lot of time with a sprained ankle, still gained more than 800 yards, but did not have a single run of more than 20 yards this year.
And didn't have a 100-yard game all year long. In fact, his last 100-yard effort was here 51 weeks ago when he had 140 against the Broncos. And his yards per carry reflect that injury, Al, only 3.4 per rush.
2nd and 6. Brunell underneath. It's a juggling catch made by Means. He gets to the 39, setting up a 3rd and 4. Smith and Aldridge converge on the tackle.
Jacksonville playing it very smart. Offensive coordinator Chris Palmer calling probably the plays that they had down. They haven't got through their list yet, I'm sure, and why change it? Get back in the game, get yourselves something on the scoreboard, go in at halftime, regroup, and come back out, and you got a new ball game. They know they can come back as they look once again at Neil Smith.
If they've got 20 plays on their script, they may still be working off that script in the 3rd quarter.
Well, he keeps looking at it. I don't think they're through it yet.
Meanwhile, Denver ran out of script after that first drive. That first drive was 15 plays. Injury timeout for Smith. 6:23 left in the half. 21-0 Denver.
This is one sadistic TV show.
New hosts, Daisy Fuentes and John Fugelsang. And all new funniest videos, 1 week from Monday on ABC.
Back in Denver, it's been all Broncos. And, you know, the one thing we should point out, too, is that even though Jacksonville beat Denver last year, the Broncos have not lost any other game in this stadium for 2 years apart from that one.
Take a look at the entire John Elway era. I can speak firsthand. No tougher place in the NFL to win than Mile High Stadium.
3rd down and 3. And Brunell going deep into double coverage and incomplete, but a flag comes in. McCardell was sandwiched between Braxton and Gordon.
I sure didn't see any violation at the conclusion of this play. Looked like there wasn't any contact till afterwards.
Number 23 on the defense.
They get Darian Gordon for using his hands, but he came a long way to get involved in that double coverage. Yeah, he did.
Right
no
there.
Okay,
you're right. He did. He had his right hand on McCardell's left shoulder.
When he had the help on the inside, he really didn't need to do this.
No.
Braxton is in good position to make the play.
No, I didn't see it properly. That's a very good call by the official. It's really kind of senseless. You've got the help from the safety. You know you got help deep. Really doesn't gain much to reach out and put your hand on the guy's shoulder pad and bicep.
Exactly. 34-yard penalty. 1st and goal. Natron Means. To the 1-yard line. Mobley makes the hit. 2nd and goal inside 6 minutes remaining in the first half.
And Jacksonville with a good drive from their own 20-yard line. This is what they needed to do. Get a little confidence, put some points up on the board. Go in at halftime. You're a little closer. You know you can do it. And you know you've done it before, and come back out and you play a different football game in the second half. And it can't happen.
Neil Smith is back in the game. 2nd down and goal from the 1. Means. No signal.
Boy, it sure looked like he was in there.
Yep. No signal yet from the officials. Will there be a late signal? Yes. Touchdown.
Looked like the whole Jacksonville offensive team was in the end zone.
Ty Halleck led the way with a block. And Vaselli gets into it with Mike Lodish.
And Alfred Williams is his counterpart most of the game.
Size of this offensive line, they couldn't even see Means.
And when Natron gets lost, you're talking about getting lost amongst some big people.
So the penalty on Gordon is a huge one on 3rd and 3, and then it pays off, does the drive with this Means bulling into the end zone.
And by that angle into the end zone relatively easily.
Mike Hollis for the point after. And so the Jacksonville Jaguars have scrambled back into the game with a long drive. 5:09 left in the first half. Denver 21, Jacksonville 7.
AT&T, it's all within your reach presents It's My Game.
Forecast for Denver. Snow by kickoff time at Mile High. Should be 7 to 8 inches of the white stuff. Shannon Sharp, watch your footing. Could be a little treacherous out there. Okay, you see these swirling northwest winds? Don't expect John Elway to be throwing to that. No, instead the Broncos will be giving the ball to Terrell Davis. Should be a defensive battle. Late field goal will win it. That's it for weather. And now to sports.
2 hours? All right.
Search to find the true face of God. Tonight, the search is over. John Denver and George Burns. Oh, God. ABC tonight.
The Jacksonville Jaguars began that last drive without a single first down in the game until that point. And Greg Robinson's defense had barely been on the field until that last drive. John Elway has guided his team to 3 touchdowns, but Jacksonville gets back into the game as Hollis kicks off for the Jaguars, and it's a ground ball that winds up in the end zone and is down there by Hebron.
Almost eerie in talking to Tom Coughlin last night. He said, we just kind of are planning on them getting ahead of us early because that's the way they play. They come out, pick up the momentum, and they particularly play that way here in Denver, and it's almost kind of eerie that he came up with that. And now they come back and they get themselves back into the game.
They've had the lead in every game this season, including the Monday night game in San Francisco when they were leading 10-0. And by the time that one was done, they were a 34-17 loser, and Terrell Davis had a separated shoulder.
I'm not sure he saw himself behind 21-0.
No. First down from the 20-yard line. Elway with a lot of time, and underneath hits Terrell Davis for a short gain, tackled by Hardy. Might have seen himself down 12-0, but not 21-0.
Maybe a touchdown or something like that.
Davis laughing because he had to catch that ball in self-defense.
Did you
Elway
see the block
deep downfield?
Watch the block on the left side by Howard Griffith as he just jackhammers Brian Schwartz, the middle linebacker. Now that is the way a fullback is supposed to step up and create a pocket for his quarterback.
Now 2nd and 8, Davis again.
When a running back gets over 1,700 yards and has a year like Terrell Davis has had here in Denver, it's just like Emmitt Smith in Dallas. Go to the fullback and give that guy a whole lot of credit. And instead of Moose Johnston in Dallas here, it's Howard Griffith. This guy is a ball player.
3rd down and 5, and again on 3rd down, sometimes 3rd down stats are irrelevant. In this particular case, extremely relevant.
They do it again with 4 wides.
9 for 9, 3rd and 5.
The 5th one if you count Shannon Sharp, and that's what he is.
Elway throws.
Got to hold it
for 10, but
you got to hold it.
Smith.
It's coming back.
And Wayne Weaver, the owner of the Jaguars, at first frustrated by what he saw, but he'll be a lot happier after this call that will probably go against Mark Schlereth.
It's really tough. It's only a 4-man rush by the Jaguars.
69 on the offense, but the 10-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
It's a matchup you got to like as an offensive lineman. It's just 5. It's your 5 against their 4 when you're in that 5 receiver spread. But just the fact that Mark Schlereth is out on the field is quite a performance. There he is on the left, number 69. You see he gets the left arm on the outside of Joel Smengi. And that brought flags from 2 different directions.
Schlereth has had 20 surgeries since high school. The last one for a disc.
I think 11 on the left knee and 5 on the right knee.
Unbelievable.
That is.
3rd and 15, and Elway throws, and Willie Green made the catch, but they're going to say no. He never had possession. The ball was jarred loose. Aaron Beasley smacked him, and it's 4th down.
And Elway was drilled.
But what a great throw on the part of John Elway. He knew he was going to get creamed, and he hit his receiver right in stride.
He got creamed by Simmons.
He knew he was going to get this. Threw off balance, still had enough on it, and gets the ball to Willie Green. Willie Green tried to tuck it away, but he takes a shot from Beasley, and he never had control.
Keep in mind, you have to demonstrate possession, and in the NFL nowadays, that involves getting both feet on the ground with possession of the football, and Green didn't get close.
Play a game on the offense. 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
On 4th and 15, a delay of game takes them back to the 10. Rick Dennison is the special teams coach.
Jacksonville should get this ball in real good field position.
Shanahan worked up.
Well, he realizes, as Frank said, Jacksonville's probably going to get good field position. Plenty of time.
Tom Coughlin into that swirling wind, and it's a floater. Barlow fields at the 34 and gets taken down at the 49-yard line by Randy Hilliard.
Well, what a play by Hilliard. Came around the block to make the stop and get the max out of that punt.
That was Denver's first kick. 3 minutes remaining now in the first half.
Whole lot of things swirling around Ruin, and once he gets that ball away, trips and stumbles over his own guy.
And once a punter sees that he can get the ball away, he'll take the ball from anyone. His old man, he'll try and draw the penalty, and then you see the extracurricular things that go on.
Well, Dave Thomas just falls on top of Ruin and says, hey, I got him.
Yep.
I think there are more dangerous people to block than the punter.
1st and 10 from the 49-yard line. Little swing pass out here to James Stewart. Nice tackle from behind. Alfred Williams grabs him.
Well, that was really nice hustle by Alfred Williams because he's cut to the ground by Baselli. It's Baselli's responsibility to get his hands down so you can complete the pass. A lot of defensive linemen just end up staying on the ground. Alfred hops right up, hustles back in. Watch here in the bottom. Baselli's going to cut Williams right there. He gets his hands down. Alfred, who never went all the way to the ground, that's just nice hustle getting back into the play by Williams.
2nd down and 7. Jags have all of their timeouts and the 2-minute warning. Into traffic, intended for Mitchell, but covered by Gordon and Mobley as well. It'll be 3rd down.
Mobley all over the field once again for Denver. Had a great year. Didn't make the Pro Bowl. A lot of people wonder why he didn't. 4 sacks. He had an interception for a touchdown. He had 3 forced fumbles. The fumble recovery. He did it all. The leading tackler. And he is so quick. He is all over the field.
Yet he made the AP All-Pro team, which is quite an honor.
He made the Monday Night All-Pro team.
And some vindication for John Mobley.
3rd and 7 from the 48-yard line. And it is deflected, intended for Jimmy Smith.
I think Gordon might have got it.
Darian Gordon coming in, got a hand on it. Very unusual call in that circumstance.
Well, it's a very effective corner blitz called by Greg Robinson. Gordon's lined up on the slot receiver and comes.
Well, it's a hokey little screen out to the outside flanker with a one-man blocker in front of it. And it is destructed right here. Darian Gordon coming on the blitz, spots it and goes up and bats it away.
Good adjective for that screen, a hokey little screen. Barker, line drive kick fielded by Gordon at the 14-yard line, and Darian Gordon comes all the way back out to the 28-yard line as we reach the 2-minute warning. So Elway takes over, trying to extend the lead. 2 minutes to go in the half. Denver 21, Jacksonville 7. This is our last telecast for a while, but we're back with you on Sunday, February 1st, the end of the season, the Pro Bowl from Honolulu, which begins this year at 6 o'clock, 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Brett Favre will be there. John Elway will be there.
Mark Brunell's going there.
Yep.
5 reps from either team playing here today.
First half possessions, 3 touchdowns and a punt for Denver. Now possession 5. Elway has all of his timeouts. 2 minutes to go. Inside give. Terrell Davis slips through the opening and is taken down at the 32-yard line after a gain of 5. Took a big hit. Beasley and Brackens converge on the tackle with 148 and took him down.
Well, if Terrell hops up from that,
shaking his head a little bit, but he did hop up.
With an intact shoulder, it is all right. That was a major collision between Brackens and Davis at the conclusion of that play.
Davis, 19 carries in the first half. Second down and 4. And now his 20th carry. A first down as he takes it out to the 43. Chris Hudson hits him.
Boy, that's the type of run.
Are you sure, Al?
After he was the hit team.
Yeah, I was going to say, you might want to rephrase that.
Yeah, that's the kind of running, though, that can take a life right out of a team. Just bowling over tacklers that could have kept him short of the first down.
They take the life out of Hudson. Number 37 was on the receiving end. He gets credit for a tackle.
Did you get that license plate? He was really hammered.
That is a statistical term. This is a remarkable performance by Terrell Davis, that he has already touched the ball 23 times in the first half of play. A guy that coming into this game, questionable how effective he was going to be. Not only is he effective, he is punishing as well.
Chris Hudson really took a shot. He'll think twice next time.
First and 10 after Denver's first timeout from the 43. Broncos up by 14. Elway under pressure, loses the football and is able to find it and recover it himself back at the 33-yard line.
Now that'll be a sack. John Elway back to throw, getting stripped of the football and lost it for a minute, didn't find it. And luckily, nobody from Jacksonville saw it quickly either.
He takes a Major League Denver bounce. Is that his own man?
I don't think so. One of the Jaguars stripped it. Is it Smengi right there?
Smengi?
Yeah.
Yep. Got a hand in there.
Got a hand, reached in and pulled it out.
Second down and 19, back to the ground. And this time Davis doesn't go very far. Clyde Simmons hog-ties him at the 36-yard line. And now Jacksonville is going to take a timeout. It's just going to be third down and long for Denver. So the Jaguars take the timeout. Davis has now carried 21 times. The record for most carries in a postseason game is shared by Ricky Bell of Tampa Bay in 1979 and John Riggins of the Redskins in the Super Bowl following the 82 season. They each carried 38 times. Davis 21 carries in the first half.
What Tom Coughlin has to do with his ball club when he gets in there at halftime is talk to them about how we have not taken advantage of our field position. They've had the ball 4 times, and their touchdown drive started with their worst field position back at their own 21-yard line. They had the ball at their own 30, 3 and out, a punt. They had it at their own 49, 3 and out, a punt. They started at the Denver 49, 3 and out, and a punt. They have had their opportunities from a field position standpoint and done nothing with it.
Third down and 18, and no play. Whistles before the snap. Shannon Sharp was moving.
That's one of our pet peeves, Frank. Flexed out like that.
No reason in the world.
False start. Number 84 on the offense. That's a 5-yard penalty. Still third down.
You're looking in at the ball, but it happens.
He's split out about 3 or 4 yards from his offensive tackle in the bottom left of your screen. There's Shannon Sharp.
Looking at the ball all the way.
That's just a loss of concentration.
Elway on third down. But this is the first time he's faced a 3rd and 23.
Not only has he completed 6 out of 7, but every one of those 6 completions went for a first down.
They have to get to the Jaguar 47 to convert. Elway slides to a stop at the 28, and now Jacksonville takes the timeout with 27 seconds remaining.
John Elway playing it very conservative there. He didn't want to turn it over, give Jacksonville the ball at midfield again.
Maturity is a wonderful thing, isn't it?
Yeah, there were times that he would have been hurtling over Jacksonville Jaguars.
Exactly right.
Throwing his body into the path of everything.
That ball might have been flying across the middle of the field trying to complete a dangerous pass that might make the highlight reel, either of your team or theirs.
Yet he's coming off one of his best seasons ever, the most touchdowns he's ever had on a season. Quarterback rating 87.5, and for John, that represents about, I think, the third highest of his career.
So Brunell's going to take over. He has one timeout, and they have the Pro Bowl kicker in Mike Hollis, if they can work themselves into field goal range. Tom Ruin to punt. Reggie Barlow back to accept it. And the ball dies in the wind, but takes a good Denver bounce. A great Denver bounce under the circumstance, and the Broncos just wait and wait and wait.
And the clock runs and runs and runs.
Dead. Yep, 17 seconds.
Yep.
On that play.
That's as perfect as it could be for Denver.
Just about everything working against Jacksonville here in the first half.
So Larry Pasquale, the special teams coach. They had Barlow back there, but Barlow couldn't come up to make the catch because the wind knocked it down. And now instead of looking for a play that gets them into field goal range, I would suspect they'll just run out the clock.
I think we all came into this game wondering how Terrell Davis was going to be. Dan touched on it right at the very top of the show. We know how he is.
Who saw this coming?
Davis, 21 carries, 83 yards in the half. 3 touchdown drives out of the blocks for the Broncos. And at the half, the Denver Broncos lead the Jacksonville Jaguars 21-7 at Mile High Stadium. From Denver, we go to New York now, and Chris Berman. Chris.
All right, Al, thank you. And coming up on our Lexus halftime report, Boomer Esiason and I will talk about this game, a look at a family affair at the Rose Bowl, and a look back at that wild first game as the Vikings authored one of the biggest comebacks in playoff history. All that after this message and a word from our ABC station.
Island. The Lexus Halftime Report. Brought to you by Lexus. The future of Lexus is here. Fasten your seatbelts. Once again, live from our New York studio, Chris Berman and Boomer Esiason.
First game, wild. The Vikings beat the Giants 23-22. Minnesota wins after being down 19-3 at the half, which is the 5th greatest comeback in playoff history. And the vaunted Giants defense surrendered 20 second half points and bickered among themselves. Still, though, minute and a half to go, it was the Giants leading 22-13. And then Brandon Cunningham, 30 yards. Jake Reed in, out.
Little controversy here. This will be talked about all week here in New York.
Well, then that set up the onside kick. Chris Calloway had a oh, no. No, it's out of his hands. It's Chris Walsh. Falls on it. Vikings drive down the field, which sets up 10 seconds to go. 24-yard field goal. Eddie, eat, drink, and B. Murray. Dennis Green wins for the first in 5 tries in the playoffs. 23-22 Minnesota. Vikes at San Francisco on Saturday. They move on. Afterwards, the stunned Jesse Armstead spoke with our Leslie Visser.
It's so unusual to see players on the same team fighting among each other. What happened with your defense?
Well, you know, a few guys, you know, had a problem between each other, you know, arguing about what side to go on. You know, instead of arguing, just grab a man. Don't make no difference who you got to cover. You know, that's the only thing. And, you know, me being the leader, you know, I had to step in between it, you know, and, you know, cut everything down.
Well, it's still been a wonderful season. Thank you for stopping by, Jesse. Back to you, Boomer.
All right, Leslie, thank you. Great job hanging in by the Vikings because it did not look good.
Well, it really didn't look good. And when you look back at that game, you got to say, wow, to the Vikings defense. They're the ones that forced 5 field goals. As an offensive player, I'd love to have 3 touchdowns and 2 field goals. But unfortunately, that didn't happen for the Giants today. But really, you look at Randall Cunningham's game, another. In the first half, he was not very good. In the second half, he came back. And it's that old veteran quarterback perseverance. He's been in the wars, and he knows what's going on, and he hung tough.
I wonder if the youngest team in football, the Giants, might have played defense a little differently up 8 rather than up 9 late. We'll never know.
Oh, boy, you're a Monday morning quarterback, aren't you? You have all the answers. Just like all the media, you have all the answers.
Saturday afternoon quarterback. Well, we have plenty more coming up when we return here at halftime. It'll be a very happy New Year's for the Greasy family from the Rose Bowl field to the Rose Bowl booth. We'll be back.
I'm the road to Canterbury. Hello, dear. Thank you. Of course, you Americans hate the rain. Oh, it's too wet and scary. Mommy won't let me come out and play.
The road is calling, and the 1998 ES 300 with front-wheel drive and available traction control will help you answer it.
Not bad, but you're on the wrong side of the road.
3 big bowls, 1 big bash, New Year's Day on ABC. First, it's Florida Penn State in the Cup USA Florida Citrus Bowl. Then, undefeated Michigan goes for the national title. They meet Washington State in the Rose Bowl. And in prime time, it's Florida State and Ohio State in the Nokia Sugar Bowl. New Year's Day. New Year's Day on ABC. Monday Night Football is live on the web at abcmnf.com.
Hope you can be with us on New Year's Day for the Rose Bowl coverage beginning at 4:30 Eastern Time. Well, 25 years ago, the Miami Dolphins authored the NFL's only perfect season, finishing the task behind quarterback Bob Greasy at the LA Coliseum. On New Year's Day, across town at the Rose Bowl, his son Brian will attempt to author a perfect season as well for Michigan. And if they can beat Washington State, they could very well win the national championship. Bob will be watching from our broadcast booth. Here's Jimmy Roberts.
The son of a famous father who just might like to do the old man one better. You see it all the time, but this scenario has something of an odd twist.
Somebody's in there. Big play, Brian Greasy, keeping it alive, getting outside the pocket. Somebody's open. Okay, I'm going to give it to him.
I know everybody out there is wondering how I can do this. I mean, I love my kid. There ain't no question about that. But my kid knows that I have a job to do also.
The truth is that he is up there with sweaty palms, barely being able to hold on to his pieces of paper.
Brian Greasy almost passed up playing this season. He could have graduated in June, but his brother convinced him to come back. On the line now, a national title, and perhaps something more.
Before this season started, I had a couple of things on my kid here. I mean, I'm the only one in this family that had ever been to a Rose Bowl. I'm still the only one that ever won one.
We'll take care of that one.
It seems like a perfect situation, doesn't it? A perfect season, a chance at a national title with Dad along for the ride, sitting in the best seat in the house. But in fact, it's not exactly perfect because there's something missing. Mom. After a 6-year battle with breast cancer, Judy Greasy died when Brian was just 12.
When Judy died, and Brian was the only one home, Brian and I think, became much closer and much better friends because we had to. I leaned on him and he leaned on me.
Breakfast was their time together. Bob cooked, or as Brian says, he tried to.
Everybody talks about the perfect season and the Miami Dolphins 17-0 and how much of a perfectionist he is. So when I would come out and the eggs were broken and I'm running all over the plate, you know, I would be like, well, come on.
That was in the early days.
This is how they are. They spar about what's serious and what's superficial. Sometimes it's hard to tell the difference.
It's obviously not really a rivalry between Michigan and Purdue because Michigan always wins. So.
When I was there, we beat them all 3 years.
But you never won the Big Ten championship, did you?
Oh, boy! Those terrible times when Bob burnt the toast and butchered the eggs left a loving imprint. More meaningful than a game they both love, a position they both share, or perfect championship seasons, which in the public eye might connect them.
More than anything else, we got along together because we depended on each other. He's my best friend without a doubt.
Rose Bowl on New Year's Day. Well, Dennis Green's Vikings came back. What does Tom Coughlin tell the Jaguars down 21-7 at halftime?
Well, I'll tell you what. Tom Coughlin saying, look, we scored points right at the end of the game. Don't worry at the end of the half. Don't worry about it. Let's calm down. They have big play personnel there. They can make it happen. This game is not over for a long shot.
Will it be deja vu all over again? 21-7 Denver at the half.
Crystal water turns to dark, where'er its presence leaves its mark, and boiling currents pound like drums when something wicked this way comes. Introducing the faster, sleeker, meaner GS Motor Trend Import Car of the Year.
The Lexus Halftime Report has been brought to you by Lexus in the new faster, sleeker, meaner GS. We'll be back with the second half kickoff after this message from the NFL and a word from our ABC stations.
The metal is funny, you know. It has its own personality. It's like a jigsaw puzzle, right? You had to study it and fit it and figure it out, you know. What's bigger than the Super Bowl, tell me? Millions and millions of people watch it, right? That's the biggest thing of my life. After it's polished up, the trophy, right? We didn't even breathe on it. That's got to be perfect. I tell you, you know what I'm always afraid of when they all hold it and everything. I said, gee, don't drop it, please. Look at me. See? Get goose pimples. What a feeling, I tell you.
Yeah.
What's going on? Good evening, I'm Hugh Downs.
And I'm Barbara Walters. Check it out.
Mondays are all new on ABC starting 1 week from Monday.
Join ABC6 for breakfast with your neighbors. You bring the issues, ABC6 brings the coffee and donuts. Join Margie O'Brien for a lively discussion every Wednesday on ABC6 in the morning. If you'd like us to come to your neighborhood, write, call, or send us an email at abc6.com. Breakfast with your neighbors, Wednesdays on ABC6 in the morning, brought to you by Dunkin' Donuts, home of freshly baked bagels.
New England Tech's Tuition Freeze. Your chance to lock in this year's tuition for programs beginning next year. Call New England Tech at 467-7744.
It's the season for Old St. Nick.
The smell of pine.